Christians, the war in Palestine is not a sign of the end times. Now let me give context to the rest of you guys. I'm sure that in the past couple of days you have seen a lot of support from Israel from conservatives, but especially conservative Christians. And while it is true that Zionist propaganda is everywhere and no one is immune, but conservative evangelical Christians are supporting Israel's role in the war on Palestinians because according to their version of Christianity, this is going to bring about the end times and Jesus' second coming. This is called dispensationalism, which many evangelical movements fall under. The idea is that the prophecies surrounding the second coming will be fulfilled after the establishment of the third temple, which must be built on the Temple Mount. This is what currently occupies that site. This is called the Dome of the Rock, which is an extremely holy Islamic structure. Christians want this torn down and replaced with a Jewish temple. This is going to be a brief overview, so you guys let me know if you would like me to go into more detail. But when Jesus was asked about the signs of the end, he mentioned the abomination of desolation standing in the holy place of the temple. This is a reference to Daniel. However, the abomination of desolations happened during the Seleucid occupation of Jerusalem and is described in one of the Book of Maccabees. The Book of Daniel, I don't know if forgery would be the right word, but was a backdated script pretending to talk about future events, but was actually describing things that were currently happening. The Book of Daniel has precise details about the Seleucids and their king Antiochus, also known as Antiochus the Madman, and the details are all accurate until it talks about the death of Antiochus, which happens right before the end of the world. Christians confound Antiochus with Antichrist. Again, this is just a very broad overview about how biblical literalists view what we now know as the canonized version of the Bible versus how scholars view and interpret all of the ancient texts, not just what is included in what we now know as the Christian Bible. Now we get to why. Why would anyone want to see the end times happening? Because they want confirmation that they are right, even at the cost of billions of lives being destroyed. I really don't want us to conflate the support that we are seeing from evangelicals for the state of Israel as support for Jewish peoples, because in this doomsday fantasy, all the Jewish people, all non-Christians in fact, perish in a lake of fire for 1,000 years, hell for the rest of eternity. Not good things. Jesus says that wars and rumors of wars would simply be business as usual in the world until he came back. But let's look at what this says. It says, wars and rumors of wars, see that you not be troubled, for all of these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes. And all of these are the beginnings of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted. They shall kill you. They shall hate you. You will be hated out of all nations for my name's sake. We begin to see where evangelical Christians get their persecution complex now. These modern day Christians with their fetishization of martyrdom and their obsession with eternal damnation and torment for everyone who does not believe and live life the way that they believe people should. These people forget that Jesus was a Jewish man of color leading a rebellion against the Roman occupation of that time. They ignore that none of these things are actually signs of the end times. Yet conservative evangelical Christians would rather bend over backwards saying that a war in Palestine is a sign that Jesus is returning. Again, we're ignoring how many wars have happened in that exact spot the last 3,500 years. Canaan is a beautiful and fertile strip of land that connects Egypt with the crescent. There's a sea on one side and a desert on the other side. It is a very strategic, bottlenecked region. Great and small powers have been fighting over it since Egyptian and the Hittites in the Bronze Age. Fear-mongering, especially lies about prophecy, have no place in the church. So hear me.